Hi, and welcome back again to Miss Kelly's Storytime. Now, the month of November is my birthday month, and I know that I share my birthday month with a couple of my little friends, so I thought that I would read a couple of special birthday stories because I love birthday stories. So we're going to start today with Happy Birthday, Mrs. Millie by Judy Cox and illustrated by Joe Matthew. Mrs. Millie is really silly. Every morning at school she says, "Please hang up your book bugs." We know she means our book bags. Today is Mrs. Millie's birthday. She's our very special teacher, so we are giving her a party. Won't she be surprised? First, our parents help us decorate the classroom with colorful baboons. Oh, we mean balloons. Next, we set out our treats. We have chocolate cupcakes to eat. We think Mrs. Millie will call them cubcakes. We have apple mousse to drink. Mrs. Millie will know that's apple juice. The lights and hide behind our desk. Mrs. Millie comes in after lunch and we jump up. "Happy birthday, Mrs. Millie!" we shout. "What, my birthday?" "You mean your birthday, Mrs. Millie," we giggle. "Look at the foxes tied up with gibbons," Mrs. Millie tells us. "Don't be silly, Mrs. Millie. You mean the boxes tied up with ribbons," we say. "Are all these pheasants for me?" asks Mrs. Millie. "You mean presents," we shout. "And look, this wonderful cupcake has a camel on it," said Mrs. Millie. "Don't you mean candle?" we ask. "Blow out the candle and make a fish," we yell. Mrs. Millie laughs. "I'd rather make a wish." "What a wonderful birthday partridge," she says. "Silly Mrs. Millie, you mean birthday party." "Did you plan this all by yourself?" she asks. "Well, our parrots helped a little," we say. "Silly children, you mean your parents," says Mrs. Millie. We laugh, and Mrs. Millie laughs too. "I have something for each of you," says Mrs. Millie. She gives us a shiny new pencil that reads, "A present from your creature." Silly Mrs. Millie, you mean a present from our teacher. At the end of the day, Mrs. Millie waves goodbye. "Thank you for the party," she tells us. "I had a very happy day." "Let's do it again next year, Mrs. Millie," we say.